Hi, heidi ho, heidi ho. So, message for today. um, Reading Zohar. I don't put messages on Sabbath, Shabbat. Um, so, a lot of what's going on around the world has to do with the Erev Rav, which is a character trait that each and every one of us can have within ourselves. Things that we have to remove from ourselves. So removing the leaven, the haughtiness of our hearts, removing different things from our character traits. So the Nephilim, the fallen ones, are usually the lustful ones that seek after base wants instead of base needs. Everything that they want, they got to go for. It's materialism, materialistic. The Giborim, which are the mighty ones, they're usually narcissistic individuals, psychopaths, sociopaths, those who pursue honor over spirituality. The Anakim, the giants, they're disruptive, those who create strife and divide the world. Everything they want divided, divide and conquer. The Rephaim, which are the weak ones, they're usually cowardly individuals, those who shirk doing kindness and charity. The Amalekites or Amalekim, they're usually the violent and the most ruthless of all the 5 character traits. They're evil leaders who steal from the poor. So it makes me think of things like in psychology, it's taught about the 10 top positions that a psychopath or a sociopath, somebody who's got narcissistic character traits, will aim for. And then you have your civil service exam. Well, if you score too high on that exam, you can't get in a position of the civil servant. If you score too low, obviously you can't. But if you score too high, then you're not able to be indoctrinated. So those 10 positions are CEOs or corporate executives, people that want to have control over the masses, many individuals, and want to build a name for themselves. And you know, those are the mighty ones. Everything they're doing. So you look at somebody like Trump, Kushner, Shapiro, Bibi Netanyahu, pretty much every leader around the world. They're seeking to build a name for themselves, not for spirituality. So, and then you have media and TV, radio personalities. They usually are really narcissistic, and they try to charm people, and the media is all controlled by the plutocrats and oligarchs. So they push an agenda. They push what, you know, so that'd be like actors and actresses and all the rest of the TV personalities. Lawyers, because they're all involved in theft, collusion or coercion to defraud, civil conspiracy. They're pushing a trust account for you to use a trust account, telling you that it's against the law for you to be on the land. But then again, if it weren't for the police officers who are basically sociopaths and psychopaths with narcissistic character traits. So, you know, they have to have them because they follow orders. They're pets. They follow orders. Journalists, a lot of journalists, and it's not to say that everybody who is in one of these positions is wicked, but the good majority of them are. Because they seek, it all has to do with materialism, being the Erev Rav, seeking in some way, shape, or form control over God. So they want to take the place of God. Clergy persons, good majority of. Chef or high stress, salesperson, civil, basically any civil servant position. So if you look up the 10 most common jobs, you got to keep an open mind, because it doesn't mean, so when you're younger, and you're lacking knowledge and wisdom, you may take a position doing something, but you don't like that environment. So The easiest way to say it is the Erev Rav take advantage of youth in many different ways. So you look at the Epstein class. They take advantage of the youth when you're lacking knowledge and wisdom. And what they use is their influence and materialism to reel you in. So they get you to enlist in the military or join the police force or become a model so they can have their way with you, like some of you women. They're wicked. So ultimately what it comes down to is we don't have to deal with those individuals. So anything that is written on parchment is something you can pretty much burn. No man could write something on parchment giving himself authority over you. And unfortunately, we've all been indoctrinated, and it's hard to remove ourselves from that indoctrination. But the only court that should be above us is Hashem's court, Allah's court, the All's court, our Ima Abba's court, God's court. That's the only court that is over us. Guarding our 7 gates is very important. So your 2 eyes, your nostrils, your ears, and your mouth. Because that's a gateway to your heart and to your mind. And they give us bread and circuses. But anyway, that's the message for today. Nobody has authority over you unless you grant them authority over you. And that's the key. No man has authority over you unless you grant him authority. And no document can give another man authority unless you recognize that document as your authority. God bless. Much love.